Elite shot blockers in the Big East. Also a high percentage shooter, excellent defender. This ought to be a fantastic matchup when those two lock horns.
Starting lineup sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Creighton with the same starting lineup they've had all season long. Meanwhile, for Marquette, Shaka Smart has mixed it up a few times. He'll have to do that again today with Cam Jones out due to health and safety protocols. That's why you see the senior Daryl Morcell back in the starting lineup.
And I'm sure Morcell would prefer to come off the bench if he could, but he's going to have to step up right here.
Our officials, Pat Driscoll, Jeffrey Clark, Bo Borowski. Creighton in the all-blue uniforms, Marquette in the home golds. And with an early tip, good energy in the building at Fiserv Forum.
And that's going to be key in terms of who brings the energy early. 11 a.m. start. Happy New Year. Well, let's see who's got the energy early.
Well, Shaka Smart, Marquette's head coach, did tell us he feels like the first 5 minutes of this game, because of the early start, are really important today.
Yep.
Here is Omax Prosper. He's rejected by Kalkbrenner. One of the top two shot blockers in the conference. Morcell to the cup, and he gets it to roll in.
See, Morcell, being a veteran, understands how you have to attack a shot blocker like Kalkbrenner. Go through his chest, take up the space so he can't get to the shot.
Right down to Kalkbrenner. And the other way, he was rejected by Kirkweth, but fought through it. And that will be a fun battle all afternoon, Stephen. The top two shot blockers in the Big East.
No, that's really good, staying with it. Getting his first shot blocked, but able to keep it high and finish.
Justin Lewis getting the friendly bounce at home. That's a three.
Now, he's really struggled from deep as of late, so that's a great sign for Marquette early on here.
Well, Marquette as a team has struggled from deep, shooting just 31% from three. They are last in the Big East.
Nice help defensively by Kolek.
There's O'Connell, and Queth meets him at the rim.
Well, Queth's got such good timing. Obviously, he's got that nice length, but the timing on the block, keeping it in play. Nice defensive play.
Here is Morcell. Off the bounce, left it short. And now Nembhard, one of a handful of freshmen playing significant minutes this year for Creighton, runs the point. Ryan Hawkins, who is their leading scorer this year, whistled for a 3-second violation, and it goes back to Marquette. Led, of course, by first-year head coach Shaka Smart. His team coming off 3 straight losses, all to top 25 teams. And Stephen, he said, you know, look, when we look at the film, there's probably a few possessions here or there that if they had gone our way, we come away with a win.
Oh, yeah, and there were some missed shots, especially in the last game around the paint area, that Marquette wishes they could get back. But it's all about building for Shaka Smart, and his team has had a very difficult schedule to this point.
Kaluma, that's a three. And we talked about the struggles that Marquette has had this year, ranking 9th in the Big East in three-point shooting. It's Creighton who's actually last in the league, 31%, but they were really good in their win against Villanova a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they were, and especially defensively, they were stifling against Villanova, especially down the stretch in the second half.
You know, it's interesting you bring up the defense, because Greg McDermott told us before the game today, Stephen, that he's been most surprised with how good they are defensively this year.
Yeah, and they've got good length through the Blue Jays, but they're really connected. You know, and Ryan Hawkins, one of the better leaders, not just players, but leaders in the Big East Conference.
Nembhard, coast to coast with it. And into the hands of Tyler Kolek.
Nice job defensively by the Blue Jays getting back. It looked like Marquette had numbers.
Kolek walled off by Hawkins, and an errant pass goes out of bounds. back to the Blue Jays as we take a look at Bardo's buckets, the keys to the game this afternoon.
Well, if you're Creighton, you want to limit your turnovers. They've had a tendency to turn the basketball over in some of their losses. They also want to get on the glass. Very good rebounding team. Marquette make easy twos. They struggled that against UConn in their last game, and then make the Blue Jays uncomfortable. Try to get up under them a little bit. Push the freshman point guard.
It is a Creighton team that plays freshmen for significant stretches of the game. In fact, they're the only team in the country that plays true freshmen, 3 of them, for 21 minutes or more per game, and yet they've been incredibly successful with 2 wins over the top 25, as you see Kalkbrenner on the low block.
Well, Kalkbrenner, the second best shooter in college basketball behind Zach Edey of Purdue because of reasons like that, keeping the ball high, point blank range.
Stevie Mitchell off the mark, and now Nembhard on the run again. He likes to push the pace.
Nice job by Justin Lewis on the closeout and dribble containment.
Shot clock under 10. Nembhard tries a 3. And it's off the side of the rim. They shot 39% from 3 in that 20-point win over Villanova back on December the 15th. 3rd largest win in program history over a top 10 team. As Omax Prosper loses it out of bounds, but it'll stay on this side. Tight one to start as expected. Creighton has won 4 of the last 5 meetings with Marquette, and they've actually never lost in this building. They are 3-0 at Fiserv Forum. Marquette is looking for a basket, though. They've gone 3.5 minutes without a field goal.
Yeah, and it looked as though, yeah, Creighton is going to a little matchup zone here out of bounds. So Marquette throwing a little bit of a wrinkle here.
Double team comes on Lewis, and he chucks it out of bounds over the head of Omax Prosper. You know, you remarked when we went to break, Stephen, it just seemed a little bit clunky through the first 4 minutes. How much do you attribute that to the early start and the long layoff for both teams?
I think it's a little bit of both because it's an unusual start and it's a long layoff. And so, you know, the crowd is not into it right now. They're still trying to wake up. So your teams have to create your own energy in this scenario.
You saying maybe they spent a little bit of a late night out for New Year's Eve?
I mean, look around. We got about 10,000 in, but they're not making a lot of noise right now.
Late in the timer again. Nembhard with the left hand slashing into the lane. And Creighton now on an 8-0 run.
Well, Nembhard getting to the bucket looked a lot like his older brother, Andrew Nembhard of Gonzaga there, getting to the rim at will.
Kolek running the offense. Iguodaro had it poked away, and now into the hands of Alexander.
Oh, you look at the pace at which Creighton is running their half-court sets, allowing them to get pretty good looks.
Good hands there from Kolek, who leads the Big East in assists per game. Now he pulls up from 3. Iguodaro keeps it in play with a backhand. Shots just not falling early for Marquette. They're 1 for their last 9.
Watch Kalkbrenner here. He likes this matchup.
Creighton has started the ball game 4 of 8 as Hawkins takes a 3. Golden Eagles last played on the 21st of December, and for Creighton it's been 15 days since their last game. Mitchell with the floater, and that ends a 4-minute scoring drought for Marquette.
That's a tough floater right there. Kalkbrenner right in his face on the release, but nice concentration on the follow-through.
Good flash of defense there from Iguodaro. Kaluma through the double team. And an offensive foul called against the freshman.
Well, I thought Kaluma navigated that baseline there. Looked like he had nowhere to go. You go back and look at Mitchell's runner. Every guard needs that in their game. You get to the paint area, you've got a shot blocker coming. Got to be able to get that over the top and get it to drop.
2,000-point scorer in high school was Stevie Mitchell. Marion Ellis now will check in as Mitchell heads to the bench. So Shaka Smart going a little bit deeper down the bench to start the ball game than we have been accustomed to seeing so far this year.
And he's trying to find a combination of players that will come and play with some intensity and energy.
There's Andro Nikashvili just checking in. O'Connell, transition three, knocks it in.
Well, O'Connell's playing some of his best basketball. Bouncy wing player, starting to shoot the three with a lot of confidence, can also get downhill and finish at the rim.
You're right, he scored double figures in 3 straight games as Morcell draws a foul driving into the lane.
Take a look here, see O'Connell catch. He take that little jab step to get his feet together right there and then square up. Nicely done by the Duke transfer.
And he's another one of those guys for Greg McDermott who's playing in an entirely new role this year. Played just 10 minutes per game last season. And now he's become a premier scoring threat in year 2.
No, and he definitely can do that. And I think he's a little bit more underrated on the defensive end as well.
Now Hawkins in the corner. Back-to-back triples for the Creighton Blue Jays. Shaka Smart has to call a timeout.
Well, that's excellent ball movement.
Who has started the last 6 games. What do you want to see from this team, Stephen, to get going offensively in a little bit of a rhythm here?
Well, right now, Keyshawn Fizel is in the game for Kalkbrenner. So, although he is a good shot blocker, not to the elite level that Kalkbrenner is. So, they did the right thing right there. Kolek getting to the rim, and they've got to continue to put pressure at the rim against the Blue Jays, especially with the shot blocker on the bench.
Put pressure on the rim and finish at the rim, which was Shaka Smart's parting message to the group after the timeout. They are on the wrong end of a 13-2 run over the last 7.5 minutes. 6 turnovers, though, for Creighton has kept Marquette close.
And that's one of the Achilles heels of the Blue Jays in terms of taking care of the basketball. Something Marquette can do a good job of changing defenses.
Averaging 14 turnovers a game are the Blue Jays. Tyler Kolek draws a foul. Ball underneath. And our first look at Greg Elliott, wearing number 5 in gold. He's getting more and more playing time over the last 4 games. He has rewarded Shaka Smart for that with 2 18-point performances in the last 3 games and another miss at the rim. Ellis fighting for it, and O'Connell comes away with it.
Well, that's a good save by O'Connell. Looked like Marquette was going to come up with yet another possession there, but he's able to track that rock down.
Now Andro Nikashvili running the show. Lob pass up to O'Connell, and he finishes at the rack.
Yeah, that's a set play with horns action at the top, but then O'Connell gets a back screen, is able to get a nice feed and an easy deuce for Creighton.
Backdoor cut from Kolek. And now back out to Elliott. Iguodaro on the drive. And the left hand is short. Another miss in the paint for the Golden Eagles.
Good move by Iguodaro. I mean, he got it right point blank range, just didn't get the drop, but that's the type of movement you want. Attacking the rim.
Marquette now 1 for its last 12 from the floor. Desperate to find any kind of rhythm offensively. Elliott, that'll help. 2-hand jam for Iguodaro.
Now you got the veteran Elliott breaking down defense. He knows what his team needs and trying to create some easy buckets inside. You got Kurt Queth and Justin Lewis about to come back in the game for Marquette.
Elliott, the longest tenured Golden Eagle on the roster, including the coaching staff. And Shaka Smart said he's just provided some poise that this team really needs.
That's a tough stop and pop. Nice decision. Just didn't get the call by Elliott.
Numbers the other way. Andro Nikashvili draws a foul on Ellis. What are your impressions of these first 10 minutes?
I just think Creighton has really done a great job of controlling the tempo. So Marquette, anytime they're going offensively against the half-court defense of Creighton, they struggle. They've not been able to get any fast break points, so Creighton doing a really good job of maintaining and controlling tempo here early.
Alexander unable to control it. And it's another turnover for the Blue Jays. That's their 7th of the first half.
Saying if there's one thing that's going to get the Blue Jays in trouble in Big East play, that's being loose at the rock. Just can't do that with these veteran ball clubs. Can take advantage of extra possessions.
That's the one thing Marquette has been unable to do. No points off those 7 turnovers so far. Here's Kolek. Out to Morcell, a couple of transfers who played at high levels at the previous programs. And Morcell has a chance at a three-point play. The circus shot goes down for the former Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year.
And Morcell showing you a lot of strength right there. His feet were turned towards the Creighton bench on the release because he got hit, but he's strong enough to get that shot up. This is a weight room shot, ladies and gentlemen, nothing but.
Dare I say Dwayne Wade-esque?
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe St. Jersey, but I think Wade would have had a little bit more elevation on that finish. But that's good. That's good, though. I like that. Man, they need to get the cheerleaders to run through the aisle and get these people up. This is.
They just have not had much to cheer about so far.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to get energy to get your team to give them a home court advantage.
And they take advantage of the turnover. Here's Elliott on the baseline, and he draws a foul against Alex O'Connell. And that is the second on O'Connell. And so now Creighton has a couple of players with 2 fouls, O'Connell and Trey Alexander. And now Ryan Hawkins comes in.
Marquette fortunate to be only down 6 in this game. I mean, Creighton giving them ample opportunities with those 8 turnovers so far, but Marquette's got to find a way to take advantage and capitalize on some of these extra opportunities.
Creighton scoreless over the last 2 minutes. Hawkins jarred it loose momentarily. 10 to shoot for Queff. Off the back end. Here comes Andro Nikashvili. And Hawkins rattles home the baseline jumper.
You can see why Hawkins is so good. He plays with great pace. He's going full speed, stopped and collected himself before that release on the baseline. Nice play.
Morcell trying to slip it down to Queff. You mentioned it earlier, what Ryan Hawkins has meant to this program, not just as the leading scorer, but the leader in the locker room as that 3 rattles out. Has brought together a young group of players, and they're playing successfully early in the year.
Oh, wow. I thought Queff was going to take that opportunity. He chose not to. Against this Creighton defense here in the first half, Marquette's got to take the first good look they get, because they may not get a good look the rest of the possession.
Time winding down. 4 to shoot for Elliott. And rejected by Kalkbrenner. That's his second block of the game. Now a home run pass to Elliott. But Creighton does a good job of getting back on defense. And Morcell backs in a triple.
It might be his birthday today. Got called those, but Marquette will take it. And now find themselves, in spite of a really slow start, they're right here in this game.
7-2 run has brought them back to within 5. Hasn't always been pretty in this first half, but they are right there with Creighton. Inside to Kalkbrenner. Excellent composure. Hesitating just enough to let the defense fly over, and he's got a chance at a 3-point play.
Offense, but they're not doing a poor job defensively, or Marquette. They just not making shots, and big fella Kalkbrenner has a lot to do with that, with his presence in the paint.
2 blocks already for Kalkbrenner, along with 7 points. Max Prosper back into the game, as is Stevie Mitchell. Mitchell right over the top of Kalkbrenner.
That was a nice set that time. Some continuity offense by Marquette. Nice spacing of the floor and able to get downhill. If I'm Creighton, I go back to Kalkbrenner. Marquette has struggled containing him in the paint.
Kaluma, tough turnaround shot, and it rims in.
Oh boy, Kaluma really still looking forward. Freshman, able to kind of go at him, and nice little fade on the release.
Justin Lewis had his shot altered again by Kalkbrenner. And that's the thing Greg McDermott told us. Even when he's not blocking shots, he's altering them. Hawkins extra pass.
Prosper got a nice matchup here. If he can get downhill.
Iguodaro backs in the floater.
That's a tough shot. Big fella on the runner.
It just seems to me that almost all of Marquette's shots have been tough. They've been contested, off balance.
And a lot of that to do with that Creighton defense. Kaluma likes this matchup.
Kicks it back out, 4 to shoot for Nembhard. Finding space in the lane, but off the back iron, and Lewis cannot corral the rebound, so it stays with the Blue Jays.
Nembhard got a good look at that runner. Just didn't get it to drop as the shot clock was going down, so you know on the miss, that's a high percentage look for them.
Kalkbrenner with it at the top of the key. 7 points already for the second-year player for Creighton.
See if Nembhard recognizes the shot clock here.
5 to shoot. Andro Nikashvili out to Nembhard with 1, and he beats the buzzer for 3.
Well, sometimes better be lucky than good. Got that deflection rolled right into the hands of Nembhard.
Creighton shooting 44% from distance, 4 of 9 to start the ball game as Prosper bully balls right into the paint for 2.
Well, he needed to. That maybe gets him going offensively.
And now Kaluma right back the other way. Defended by Joplin, and the left hand is short. Prosper again, and this time he'll be whistled for an offensive foul. This to like an AAU game when these guys are in high school with the early tip time. Maybe the energy's not the same. You have to bring the energy.
Yeah, you got to create your own energy early in these starts, and especially with these two teams coming off a break, both of them an extended break. So it's really kind of difficult to find that consistency on the offensive end in these scenarios.
It has been 15 days since Creighton last played. That was a massive win for this program, taking down a top 10 Villanova team at home by 20. And for Marquette, it's been 10 days since they last played. They are trying to bounce back from 3 straight losses, all to top 25 teams. They have had a brutal schedule leading into the new year. Hawkins left it short, rebound. Stevie Mitchell picked away by Kaluma, and he keeps it alive. No, he does not. They will say he stepped out of bounds as he tried to pirouette the sideline.
I think Pat Driscoll said he got him on a little bit of a two-step there. So they called him, got the turnover.
10 turnovers for Creighton in his first half. Their average is 14.
This would be a much larger spread if that wasn't the case. Oh, nice run. Yeah, see Tyler going into the paint now. That will see if that can get him confident. He really hasn't been looking for a shot that much here in the first half.
Nembhard on the kick out. And a foul goes against Max Prosper. That's his second personal and the 5th on the team.
A nice screen by Kaluma.
Hawkins a three from the right side. Rebound Kolek. Marquette's made 5 of their last 6 shots after starting the ball game 1 for 9. And they are within 5. Make it 3 as Iguodaro goes back door.
See, Marquette is starting to figure out now some action that will bring Kalkbrenner up the lane a little bit defensively. They've been able to wrap around and find layups on the backside.
6-0 run for the Golden Eagles over the last 2 minutes. These games just always seem to be tight. Last 14 meetings have been decided by an average of single digits. That three from Nembhard bounces in and out. Joplin tips it into the front court. And the crowd wanted that one to go down. And instead it's out of bounds and back to the Blue Jays.
Prosper hustling pretty well there, but he's got 2 fouls, so Marquette caught a break in this exchange. You see right there, Hawkins' arm is grabbed, and Driscoll calls it ball in favor of Creighton, but Prosper could have easily picked up his 3rd foul.
Kalkbrenner fouled by Iguodaro as he was getting positioning.
That was nice action right there. It was a set play for Kalkbrenner on the post, bringing Hawkins off of a down screen. So Creighton getting some nice execution and drawing the contact.
6th team foul on Marquette. 1 more, and that sends Creighton into the bonus. 90 seconds left in the first half. 27-24 Blue Jays. They have led pretty much for the entirety of this first half. Kaluma had that rejected by Lewis. There's Kalkbrenner, right place, right time, and he has 9 points.
Wow, Iguodaro lost. Just didn't understand where the ball was that time and released Kalkbrenner for an easy deuce.
Didn't look like Marcel was ready for that slip pass from Kolek.
Kolek doing a good job of limiting that dribble penetration that time. Oh, big fella's open. Oh, he was open.
Kaluma with 8. Kalkbrenner fighting for positioning. Backing down on Lewis. No good on the first opportunity. Second chance. Draws a foul. And it's on the floor. Kalkbrenner will head to the line.
Man, Ryan Kalkbrenner has really good footwork. Watch this move. Up, under, draws a contact, keeps it high, has really good fundamentals. Nice job on the offensive rebound. Kalkbrenner, elite in that category. Half his rebounds come on the offensive end.
And he's a guy, Greg McDermott said, stayed over campus throughout the summer, just lived in the weight room. He's put on 25 pounds since he got to Creighton as a freshman. And he's always had a really good work ethic. And Greg McDermott called it a unique work ethic because you give him one thing to work on, and he goes to work on it and corrects it almost immediately.
And he's got when you look at him, he's got really good legs, and so he's only going to get stronger upper body. And with that footwork and his timing, imagine him being elite before it's all said and done, before he leaves Creighton.
Hawkins with an offensive board. 3 opportunities for Creighton on this trip down the floor. And now Queth is defending Kalkbrenner. 4 to shoot. Andro Nikashvili in trouble. Got the bottom of the rim, and Lewis comes away with it. Final 13 ticks of the first half.
And Marquette should feel pretty good if they can get this last possession.
Kolek on the drive. Tried to flip it to Queth. Instead it goes out of bounds. And the halftime horn sounds in Milwaukee. And Marquette probably for Creighton in that first half. Their season average is 14. But really, if you're Marquette, I feel like you've got to be pretty pleased the fact that you're only down by 6.
There's no doubt about it. And they've gotten a number of deflections. They want to get 32 deflections in a game. That's the goal for Marquette. I believe they're halfway there.
Creighton starts with the basketball. They finish the first half 1 for 8, and Hawkins knocks in the first shot of the second period.
Well, Hawkins can be a tough cover when he's at that 3-4 position, because a guy like Justin Lewis is going to have to close on him quickly on the perimeter. That's something that, although Justin's a talented player, that's something that he probably does not excel at.
Hawkins, double figures in 3 of his last 4, including a double-double against Villanova. And back-to-back 25-point performances against top 25 teams. O'Connell buries a 3 in the corner, and it's back-to-back triples to start the half for the Blue Jays.
We've seen that in the first half as well. Creighton does an excellent job of utilizing the skip pass into an open jumper. That time, Kaluma to Hawkins.
So a 9-0 run for Creighton dating back to the end of the first half. Prosper got lost in the paint. Kolek a 3, and it rims out. And his shooting struggles continue from downtown. Was an excellent three-point shooter last year at George Mason. Hawkins makes it 3 in a row, and a timeout. Shaka Smart.
Stellar defensively in the second half.
They had their previous 2 games canceled due to COVID-19. But that was a huge win against Villanova, the program's 3rd largest margin of victory against the top 25 team, beating the Cats by 20, as that's sent into the first row of the seats by Iguodaro.
Nembhard gets all the way to the rim. Doesn't realize the shot block is right behind him, and that's a spike block. That's a volleyball block right there.
Creighton has made its last 3 triples. They have started the second half 3 for 3 from downtown. They went 4 of 13 from distance in the first half. And that was a strength in the win against Villanova as well. They shot 39% against Nova. 4 to shoot for Kalkbrenner, with 1 on the timer, and the left-hand floater goes down.
He's got great timing, does the big man on the post. He looked at the opposite shot clock, knew exactly how much time he had, and went to the left-hand hook away from the defense. That's really a good play.
How about the finesse from the 7-footer?
He's got great feel.
Ellis hits a 3, and that's the first basket of the half for the Golden Eagles.
Boy, Marquette needed that desperately. Their body language has not been good to start this second half. They got to respond with some intensity on this end.
O'Connell responds with a triple of his own, and now he's got 2 in the second half alone.
Shaka Smart not happy with Ellis that time, knowing that O'Connell can shoot that 3. Didn't close out and allowed him to elevate easily.
Ellis, another one of those freshmen for Marquette. 9 new scholarship players for Shaka Smart. Iguodaro, somebody that has really stepped up this year after playing less than 40 minutes combined last season.
That was a tough finish right there. Up and under, over his right shoulder, around the hand of Kalkbrenner. Nice finish. Marquette needs more of that. Aggressive play getting to the rim.
O'Connell kept his footing just long enough. The first miss from 3 for Creighton in the second half, but kept alive by O'Connell.
Nice hustle by O'Connell. A couple times, get that, maintain the possession.
Nembhard defended by Mitchell. Freshman on freshman. Now Greg Elliott picks him up. Dump down to Kalkbrenner, and that gets batted around and in. But they will not count the basket due to the offense.
I mean, I think it's the right call, Matt, but I mean, that's, officials are right there, but it is really close.
Ellis remains in the ball game for Marquette. It's a young man that hasn't played many minutes this year for Shaka Smart. Also Iguodaro with a 2-hand jam.
Mike Iguodaro taking it off the bounce. Gets in a foot speed race with Kalkbrenner and wins that one all the way to the rim.
Iguodaro now with 10 points on 5 of 6. He's defending Kalkbrenner. The 7-footer going to work on the low block. And just too much strength and too much footwork from Kalkbrenner.
He does a really good job of feeling where his defender is and then working off of that.
Kalkbrenner leads all scorers with 14. And that ball is tipped up and in by O'Connell. Scoring on his own basket. Hey, Marquette will take it.
They need it. See if they can give them a little bit more spring in this particular defensive possession.
It was just a 6-point game as we came out of the halftime break. And Creighton blitzed Marquette with 3 straight threes to go up by 15.
And the missed jumper right there, and then see O'Connell trying to corral the defensive glass and giving Marquette a gift.
It's still the holiday season.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's O'Connell, tries a 3. Scooped up by Greg Elliott. Elliott with the right hand, no. And a foul on Oso Ighodaro. Trying to go over the top of Kalkbrenner. That's his 3rd.
Well, Elliott tried a difficult attempt at the rim. And I like this right here with Marquette trying to go into a little bit of full court pressure for the first time today.
How about this dunk from Oso Ighodaro?
Yeah, it was a nice move. Had Hawkins. I thought he had Kalkbrenner, but that was actually Hawkins he took off the bounce, so it's even more impressive.
Now he's got to take a seat, though, with 3 fouls. He's been Marquette's most consistent scorer in the second half. He has 10 points.
I thought we'd see more pressure. That was the first time we've seen some full court pressure from Marquette.
Hawkins with a window, just missed. Nembhard scoops up the board. And a second opportunity for Creighton. In and out.
Tough break for Creighton. Good look from Hawkins.
11 offensive rebounds in this game for Creighton to just 3 for Marquette. And then a turnover leads to another extra possession for the Blue Jays. Nembhard. Hawkins and Mitchell colliding. Mitchell heads to the deck, and Hawkins whistled for the foul.
You know, Hawkins is smiling, looking at Bo Borowski. Going for that offensive rebound. Nembhard's shot just a little off there. Going after it. Stevie Mitchell catch the brunt of that exchange.
6'7", 225 coming into your living room. Ellis kept the handle and bounces it up and in. Amarion Ellis emerging as a significant piece for Marquette this afternoon. And a whistle underneath. It'll stay here with the Blue Jays.
You see Ellis, a lot of contact in there, and he's still able to have the concentration on the rim. Nice finish.
Ellis will check out. He's already played 9 minutes tonight. His season high is 12. And Shaka Smart has said before that he thinks Ellis has the most potential of any freshman on the team, but he's also the youngest and the most green. Getting big minutes today, though, on New Year's Day in the Big East. Here's Keyshawn Fizel. And a good rebound from Lewis. Gets it out to Morcell. First time we've seen him in the second half.
Queth did a really good job defensively down there. Didn't give an inch. Didn't foul.
Kolek, Lewis, Queth, Prosper, and Morcell on the floor for Marquette. Trying to get something going offensively, and another miss at the rim. How many of those did we see in the first half? It'll stay on this side. But boy, Steven, Marquette has had many chances right around the rack today.
Well, Queth, I don't think he expected that pass, and so that angle that he took that attempt was a little off. And so, you know, you just got to be aware in that paint area. Prosper looked like he was going to score, but made a nice pass to Quet. He's got to finish that.
That was an issue in the losses to Xavier and to UConn. A couple of possessions where if Marquette could have just finished at the rim, maybe they come away with a win in one or two of those. Morsell off the mark, Fizel the rebound.
Morsell had a similar attempt earlier in the game, got his feet kind of tangled up there and had his body twisted on that shot.
Trey Alexander back into the game for Creighton, throws it into the hands of Kolek. Now a three-point attempt for Prosper, and he buries it from the right side, and that gets the fans involved.
That was one of the few easy buckets that Marquette has gotten all afternoon. It really struggled to score in the half-court set. Nice job by Prosper walking into a three.
Timeout taken by Greg McDermott. 7-0 run for the Golden Eagles.
Really an unusual stat that you see at this level in Big East play, where one team is dominant with the bench scoring, but that's what's kept Marquette in this game.
11 of Marquette's 14 second-half points have come from bench players. Tough three from Nembhard, tipped around and corralled by Omax Prosper.
That was a good play by Justin Lewis. He knew he couldn't corral it himself. He was able to tip it to Prosper.
Lewis off the mark, no, and tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Marquette.
And Lewis showing his frustration here. Body language not good. Went to the hole and challenged Kalkbrenner and came up short, but he's got to keep going. He's got to get his body going and change his body language right now. It's not good.
He has double figures in 12 of 13 games this year. Their leading scorer, and yet today just 3 points on 1 of 8. Still a lot of time left, though, for Lewis and Marquette to get going offensively. They're currently on a 7-0 run. Last touch by Marquette. And it'd be 5 seconds on the timer for the Blue Jays here.
So the Marquette bench, watch the elevator play. Nembhard's got to go.
2 seconds. Nembhard kicks it out. And Alexander bailed out by a foul called against Justin Lewis just before the horn.
See, that's what I'm talking about. When your body language is poor, those type of things happen to you. You're trying to close out on the shot at the end of the shot clock. The worst thing you can do is foul in this scenario, and Justin Lewis does just that.
It has not been his day so far. Talked about all the scoring prowess that he has brought to this team this year. A major sophomore leap. You highlighted him in the open. They've been equally impressed by his defense this season too, but today he has struggled against Creighton.
And the thing is, and he's not unlike a lot of players at this level where their energy is predicated on whether the ball is going through the basket or not. He is so talented, he can affect the game so many different ways that he's still got to have that energy and that effort, even when the shots aren't falling.
Coming off 20 and 7 against UConn, his second 20-point game of the season, as Alexander knocks down all 3. Knocks down 2 of the 3 rather, and those are the first bench points of the game for the Blue Jays. Kolek left open, and a left hand in and out. It'll stay here though. First 20 on the timer for Marquette.
See, Marquette's getting a look in that right where that Big East logo is. Those are high percentage shots. You got to knock those down. Kolek had a really good look and just didn't fall for him. But you got to take those shots.
Really carrying over from the first half. We saw them miss 4 or 5 times right around the rim. Some of them contested, some of them not. Third foul on Trey Alexander. Check that. They have corrected. It will go against Arthur Kaluma, and that is his second. Fresh 20 for Marquette. They trail 48-38. It was a 6-point game at halftime. Lewis into the chest of Kalkbrenner, And tipped out of bounds back to Creighton.
Now that's how you go to the hole. He didn't get it to drop, but that's the effort that you have to have. He went right at the shot blocker. He and Kalkbrenner meet at the summit, at the apex, and he's going to be successful more often than not. He's got to keep going.
Meanwhile, on this side of the floor, Creighton won for its last 9 in terms of field goals.
Good help by Quet.
Andronikashvili up and under, no. Kalkbrenner fighting for it, and finally Quet rips it away. Morcell had it altered by Kalkbrenner, and a foul comes in late, and it'll go against the 7-footer.
Well, Morcell gets a chance to turn the corner, gets into the paint area. He's got a nice advantage, it looks like, over Nembhard. And then Kalkbrenner comes to challenge, but he draws the contact. Nice job by Morcell.
Marquette has taken just 1 free throw attempt this afternoon. Morcell will head to the line, though, for 2 shots. All 7 of his points came in the first half. Back after missing the UConn game. And before he missed that game, he had scored in double figures in 3 of the last 4, including 14 in the loss to Xavier. And, you know, he's another guy that Shaka Smart has asked to do more than he's ever done before in his collegiate career. Was more of a role player and a defense-first guy at Maryland, where he won the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Now the pressure comes.
Shaka Smart choosing to use this judiciously. The second time this afternoon we've seen that full court pressure. But we got to keep an eye on Kaluma and Justin Lewis. They are really going back and forth. Jeffrey Clark, the official, had to say something to them in that last free throw line. So keep an eye on those two.
Well, now they're matched up with one another on this side of the floor. Kaluma, the top-rated freshman to ever come to Creighton under Greg McDermott. And it's picked off back to Marquette. Kolek trying to wiggle around O'Connell, and he muscles it up and in.
Here comes the crowd at last.
And it's back to 6. An 11-2 run for the Golden Eagles. And for the first time this afternoon, the Marquette fans standing out of their seats. Morcell looked like he slipped. He was fouled. And it goes against Kaluma. No, it actually goes against Alexander, and that's his 3rd.
So Marquette feeling better. They've gotten a couple stops. Morcell likes that matchup when Nembhard switches out onto him. He's going to take him in the paint every chance he gets.
Morcell has gone straight to the rack the last couple of possessions. Now allowed up to Quet and tipped out of bounds by Kalkbrenner. They'll stay here with 16 on the timer.
That's the first time this afternoon we've seen Marquette try to run that ball screen action to a lob to Quet. Kalkbrenner was on top of it.
Hand off to Kolek, was given space by Kalkbrenner, and there is Lewis with the tip in. Lowest deficit of the half for the Blue Jays.
You see Kolek right there with the nice floater, and then Justin Lewis comes and cleans it up. But that's the action that you've got to have Marquette starting to get a lot of looks in that paint area.
Creighton on the wrong end of a 6-0 run and the wrong end of a 17-4 run over the last 9 minutes. Here's Kaluma, defended by Lewis. Great defense from Lewis, and it leads to a turnover the other way. For Creighton. And Marquette has managed to score 12 points off of those 13 turnovers. And something they always track for every game, Stephen, is deflections defensively. They want 32 a game. They already have 29 as Kalkbrenner rips in the board. Marquette is 5-0 this year when they get 32 deflections or more defensively.
If I'm Creighton right now, I want the ball to go to O'Connell or Kalkbrenner. Those are the only two guys on the afternoon that are shooting 50% or better from the field.
Kalkbrenner met at the rim by Queth, but he muscled it down, and that's the first bucket for Creighton in the last 3 minutes.
If they're not going to double team Kalkbrenner, I'd go to him every time.
Kolek to Queth, almost a posterized jam, and instead it's the other way.
Nice challenge there to deny Queth.
Hawkins a deep three, and he splashes it from the top of the key.
He's got a little bit of an unorthodox shot, and so I think what happens is he looks flat-footed, Matt, but then he can pop down really quick and get his shot off. Almost lulls you to sleep.
Lewis rejected by Kalkbrenner on this end. And here comes Trey Alexander. O'Connell with the quick trigger.
That's a good decision by Kalkbrenner, getting it out to O'Connell.
Lewis short on the jumper. He's now 2 for 12 this afternoon.
That's a good look. Queth gave him a nice kick there to free himself for the jumper. Didn't fall.
Neither team shooting above 40% from the floor. But the threes have been going down for Creighton. They have shot at 9 of 25 for 36% from beyond the arc.
Hawkins has been really good. Kalkbrenner, you've seen some really good footwork from him on the offensive end, and then watch him come over on the block. Nice help side defense.
3 blocks for Kalkbrenner. Here's Hawkins back deep into the post. Fans wanted to travel. Instead, he was fouled.
Oh, Hawkins is well put together. He's deceiving that way, 225, and that's Marcel he put in the post. That's not easy to do.
What a story he is, too. 3 national titles at the Division II level. One of the winningest players in college basketball, no matter the level. And one of the things that Greg McDermott told us, Stephen, is you know what type of player you're going to get in terms of his ability on the floor. What you don't always know is how he's going to be in the locker room. And he has been huge for this team in that regard. But he gets a huge crowd from the home fans after that miss.
And Coach McDermott talked about his ability to get on his teammates but not make them feel bad.
Iguodaro stays with it, and the putback is good. And now he has 14 to lead all Marquette scorers.
So Marquette is staying close, getting timely putbacks.
To shoot for Kalkbrenner. Lost up top. Nembhard the floater, no, and the rebound hauled in by Justin Lewis.
I'd like to see Daryl Marcel get involved offensively in this possession.
Kolek finds Iguodaro up top, and it's a new season high for the second-year Marquette player.
Nice two-man action by Marquette. They've seen something here recently in some ball screen action. They've had some success in that scenario. Nice job by Marquette.
And now Kolek into the passing lane. Ball still alive. Finally scooped up by Nembhard. That was almost a huge play and a 2-on-1 the other way. Alexander, right past Lewis, had his shot altered. Numbers the other way for Marquette. Will they find Iguodaro again? Kolek on the fadeaway. Silky touch from the former A-10 freshman of the year, and it's a one-possession game. 6-0 run for Marquette.
Let's see who has the best opportunity to convert on some of these possessions here.
No field goals for Creighton in the last 3 minutes. What do you want to see them run here?
Colt Brenner, hit him in the post. He's been the most effective weapon.
He does have 16 points to lead all Creighton scorers. Kalkbrenner with Iguodaro on the seat of his pants. Couldn't get it to drop. Kalkbrenner a second chance. And there's a whistle in there somewhere. It will go against Marquette.
Look at Kalkbrenner spin off Lewis. Doesn't get the make, but doing a really good job of staying on the offensive glass.
So it's the third foul, at least as of now, for Omax Prosper. But now it looks like the officials might get together on this. Kalkbrenner has been all over the glass today. So has Marquette. 13 offensive rebounds. Kalkbrenner with 9 boards, making him the first Creighton Blue Jay to tally 9 rebounds in 5 straight games since Greg McDermott's son, Dougie Buckets. Exactly.
Take a look here. And I don't know if they are looking at, I'm not sure what they're looking at actually, Matt.
It looked like right there at the very end, Omax might have gotten his arm on Kalkbrenner on the follow-through. But the officials are checking the monitor right now. Bo Borowski, Jeffrey Clark, Pat Driscoll are officials this afternoon. And I believe this is the first time we've had a play reviewed today.
I think you're right in that regard, and sure we'll get an explanation here.
So Creighton, who trailed by as many as 17 points at one point in this half, has it to 3.
And whatever it was they were looking for, they didn't find it, so play on.
Kalkbrenner will head to the free throw line. The foul does stay on Prosper. That's his 3rd. But now Kalkbrenner at the line. He's 2 for 3 today. .64% free throw shooter on the year, and he makes the first.
He's got really good form for a big at the free throw line. Sometimes you see them struggle. But look at this follow through.
Creighton in the bonus the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Marquette would still have 4 more fouls to get against the Blue Jays to get into the bonus. How will that affect these final 3 minutes? Kolek had his shot altered by Alexander. Now a home run pass to Andronikashvili, and he left it off the back end. Lewis pops and drops in the lane.
That was an excellent decision by Lewis. He could have gone off the bounce and tried to challenge Kalkbrenner. Instead, he took the easy 15-footer. Also doing a good job the last couple of possessions of fronting the post, not allowing a direct pass to Kalkbrenner.
Nembhard on the drive finds Kalkbrenner with a bounce pass, but there was a foul first. And it goes against Marquette.
Marcel right there with a nice pass. And you see Lewis, he has a decision to make. And I thought he made the right one. Just take what the defense is giving you. You don't have to force the issue. A lot of times you see players in that situation kind of force what's coming to them because they're struggling from the field. That time, Lewis, a very good decision.
7 points today for Lewis on just 3 of 13. He has been the leading scorer all season and is coming off a massive game against UConn as Nembhard misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Boy, those really hurt when you're on the road and you just come up with empty possessions. See what Marquette can do with this opportunity.
They can tie with a 3. Morcell goes right into the teeth of the defense and banks it up over Cook Center. 1-point game in Milwaukee.
That's how you nullify a shot blocker. Jump into their chest. Take away that space.
10-2 run for Marquette over the last 440.
That's a good call.
It goes against Omax Prosper. That is his 4th.
You see Morcell go right into Kalkbrenner, not allowing the shot blocker to get off the ground. So Daryl Morcell showing some veteran savvy right there.
Shaka Smart says there's just some dog to him, some nastiness when he's on the floor. Doesn't back down from a challenge. Hawkins at the line and makes the first of the 1-and-1.
Marquette just keeps grinding, but Creighton making enough plays to maintain this lead.
And another miss at the stripe. Creighton just 7 of 13 as a team. And now a 2-point game. Kolek out to Iguodaro. And Kolek fighting for the offensive board has it knocked out of bounds, and the officials say it'll stay with the Golden Eagles.
Greg McDermott wants to check this. Well, you see the scramble for the rebound. Oh, I think that's going to stay Marquette basketball. I can see why McDermott and his staff want to try to challenge, though, from their vantage point.
It is amazing how we have gotten here. At one point, it looked like Creighton would run away with this game. They led by as many as 17. They blitzed Marquette coming out of the halftime break, Stephen, with 3 straight triples. And now Marquette has a chance to take the lead for the first time since it was 5-2 in the beginning of the ball game.
Yeah, that's why, if you remember me talking about the body language of Marquette early in the second half was poor. But then they made some plays. They got themselves going. Iguodaro has been excellent here in the second half. He's really led Marquette back into this game.
Iguodaro with a season-high 16 points. He's back on the floor, as is Lewis, Prosper, Kolek, and Morcell for Marquette. Prosper, no, it's Iguodaro with the left hand. And we are tied for the first time in this half.
They're trying to get Hawkins one-on-one here against Prosper. He's got 4 fouls.
5 to shoot for Nembhard. Step back from the freshman, and he buries it on the baseline.
Ooh, cool as the other side of the pillow, young fellow. I see you.
.50 ticks left in Milwaukee. Kolek had it poked away momentarily. Lewis. Up top. 20 points for Oso Iguodaro.
Justin Lewis kept his head in the game, and he's able to make plays down the stretch like that.
What a time for his season high. Final 30 seconds. Creighton with 1 timeout left. Prosper fighting for it, and it'll stay here. He wants the referees to check the monitor.
In Big East play here down the stretch.
And when you've got a game like this hanging in the balance, how much more important it is to come away with a result. And a foul against Andro Nikishvili. Shot clock is turned off. Marquette could have the final look at the basket in regulation. 14.5 seconds left. Morsell with the ball. And Andro Nikashvili has fouled him again. Now Creighton does have fouls to give here. Second person, 15. 9 seconds, and there is Andro Nikashvili fouling again, and that will be the last one they could give before Marquette goes into the bonus. Basketball side out of bounds. Elliott on the floor, as is Lewis, Kolek, Iguodaro, and Morsell for the Golden Eagles. Iguodaro with 5. Now Kolek with 3. Lewis for the win. And we're headed to overtime in Milwaukee.
Wow, I cannot believe Marquette got that off.
Our officials, Pat Driscoll, Jeffrey Clark, Bo Borowski. Creighton in the blue, Marquette in the home gold. Overtime in Milwaukee is underway. The big fellow Ryan Kalkbrenner for Creighton, 18 points, 9 rebounds. They have lived through him in the paint at times this afternoon.
Marquette has changed up their coverage of him, starting to front the post.
And a rejection gives it right back to Marquette. Kolek of 3, knocks it in. First lead of the ball game for Marquette since they led 5-2 early in the first half.
Interesting to see how Creighton responds. Marquette has changed up their coverage on Kalkbrenner, now fronting the post and jamming the entry pass. Let's see how Creighton will respond.
Here's Hawkins against Prosper. Short with the right hand.
Omax did a really good job of D'ing up without fouling.
Now Morsell on the drive. There is Kalkbrenner meeting him at the dish. 4th block today for the 7-footer.
If you're going to go into that paint and Kalkbrenner's there, you're going to have to go to dunk. Look, any kind of layup attempt, he's going to catch.
Backdoor cut from O'Connell. He's rejected by Lewis.
Justin Lewis can look back on this game the rest of the season and see that he was not playing well. He adjusted his level of intensity, and boy, have the Golden Eagles benefited.
And their defense as a team has picked up its intensity tenfold in this half. Kalkbrenner tipped it to himself. Tippy-toeing the sideline. It's out of bounds, and it'll stay here.
Kalkbrenner doing his best balance attempt. I love the effort.
7 foot, 255. And he's tipping-toeing the sideline like a wide receiver on NFL Sunday. 3 minutes left in the overtime period. Marquette up 3. Morsell makes it a 5-point game.
Well, when Daryl Morsell is taking his time to get into that mid-range game, that's when he's really effective.
7-0 run for Marquette. Creighton has yet to score in the overtime period. They've been blocked twice at the rim. Hawkins. He's rejected that time by Morsell. How about the defense from Marquette in this overtime?
They've made nice adjustments down the stretch in the second half and in this overtime period. Hawkins really has nowhere to go. He's going to challenge Morsell. You referenced it earlier. Morsell's Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year when he was at Maryland, so he's used to being in that scenario.
Now he's all over O'Connell. Has to give it up to Kalkbrenner. 5 to shoot. Nembhard trying to get free, and the step through for the freshman just to beat the buzzer.
He put a little hezzy in there as well to get free his defensive opponent and waltz to the bucket on this easy deuce. That's a big-time play by the freshman.
9 points, 2 assists, 2 steals for the freshman Nembhard.
Iguodala needs to get involved here.
Morsell lost it out of bounds. Last touch by Kalkbrenner.
Oh, Nembhard. Ooh, the hezzy. Froze. Kolick, and was able to get all the way to the rim with the easy bucket.
He plays well beyond his years. Ryan Nembhard, four-time Big East player, freshman of the week this season. Double figures in 4 of his last 5 games. He's 1 point away from 10 today. Kolick finds Iguodala, who was fouled before the block came in. And now Iguodala, who's had a career day for Marquette, heads back to the free throw line.
Marquette has really found some success in this ball screen action where they space the floor properly, where they're getting good looks and drawing Kalkbrenner up the lane and finding Iguodala on the backside.
Marquette, surprisingly, has taken just 3 free throw attempts in this game, all of them by Daryl Morsell. Iguodala makes good on the first. He has 21 points on 10 of 12.
He's been very efficient and taking advantage of the opportunities that have presented themselves.
Biggest lead of the game for Marquette again at 5. Final 2 minutes of the overtime.
Ryan Hawkins is going to have to seek out an attempt here. He really needs to get involved.
Nembhard trying to slip free. Alexander a 3. Kalkbrenner the board, but he had it stolen away by Daryl Morsell, last year's Big Ten Defender of the Year.
One of the few mistakes Kalkbrenner has made is bringing the ball down. Usually really good keeping it high on that offensive rebound.
And now Creighton desperate for a stop. They saw their 17-point lead in the second half erased in the blink of an eye. And now they trail by 5. Kolick, no. And Kalkbrenner is there. Nembhard weaving, and there is a block again. That time from Lewis. But a foul on the floor first. And it was of the shooting variety, so 2 shots coming.
Well, you see Nembhard breaking the defense down. Get to the bucket. I guess it looked a lot worse than maybe it was. It looked like a pretty clean block up top, but Lewis's body got into Nembhard on the finish.
One of 3 freshmen for Creighton, playing an average of almost 22 minutes a game. They are one of the youngest teams in the country. You wonder how much that factored into losing that 17-point lead in the second half.
Well, these freshmen are talented, but
they are.
It's tough to go on the road in the Big East and be effective in terms of one of your first experiences in a hostile environment like this.
So now it's back to a 3-point game. 1:02 left in the overtime period. 2 timeouts for Creighton, 1 for Marquette. Creighton already does have a couple of top 25 wins this year, coming off a huge one against the top 10 Villanova team. And Marquette trying to snap a 3-game skid, all against top 25s. Lewis high off the back iron and a chance to tie with a 3 for the Blue Jays.
They don't have to go quickly through the Blue Jays. They got plenty of time.
O'Connell, short, followed his miss, and draws a foul.
O'Connell able to track down the miss. The shooter knows where the ball is typically going more than anyone else on the floor. It's a big opportunity here at the free throw line.
Double bonus, 2 shots for O'Connell. Just 6 of 8 this year. And he calmly makes the first. If he makes it here, what's your defensive strategy if you're Creighton?
McDermott just motioned to his players. They're talking about the player to foul. So they've got someone in mind that they want to catch the basketball, then they're going to foul.
Instead, a timeout is taken by Greg McDermott. He did have 2 to take. Now, Greg Elliott, the most veteran player on this Marquette roster, will take it out for the Golden Eagles. Into Morcell. Double team comes. Up ahead to Kolek, who's wide open, and finally the foul comes from O'Connell, but not before nearly 10 seconds could come off the clock.
Wow. Coach McDermott of Creighton is upset. He thought that they created the foul at the half-court line. They're talking to Jeffrey Clark, and they didn't get the call.
And now Olivier Maxence Prosper will come in. He's been playing with 4 fouls for quite some time. Kolek will head to the free throw line. He is 19 of 23 from the stripe this year. And he bounces in the front end of the 1-and-1. And now Ryan Hawkins getting set to check in for Creighton. He's had another big day, 15 points, 10 rebounds. That's back-to-back double-doubles. Kolek can make it a 3-point game with this make. And now Creighton does have 1 timeout left. Will they use it? Nembhard with the basketball. Blue Jays down 3. Hawkins trying to get free. It's knocked out of bounds, and it goes back to Marquette. With a little time left to the clock as well. So instead of 2.6, it's 3.3 for the Blue Jays. Hawkins to inbound. Finds O'Connell for the tie. Got it!
Great shot. O'Connell catches. Has good defensive pressure. O'Connell, nice job.
Creighton has shot at nearly 36% from 3. That's been a big reason why they led for as much as they did and why we are tied again. And Marquette basketball to start overtime number 2.
I want our viewers to be cognizant of the fact Prosper's got 4 fouls, so you got to watch out for that.
He has been playing all of the overtime and much of the second half in foul trouble. First bucket goes down to the second overtime for Lewis. And now he has 9 points along with 10 rebounds.
Marquette has really done a good job of adjusting Kalkbrenner's presence in the lane. Starting to see them elevate a lot more confidently with those runners.
Andro Nikashvili, Nembhard, Hawkins, O'Connell, and Kalkbrenner on the floor for Creighton. Late in the timer again for the freshman. Nembhard, runner won't go, but he gets his miss.
Boy, Marquette has really extended their defense. Creighton having a difficult time initiating.
3 in the corner. And it's tipped into the hands of Kolek. Creighton was dominant early in the game, Stephen, with their post play, getting Kalkbrenner involved early. He has 18 points, but he's been stuck on 18 for some time now.
See Creighton in a matchup zone. Morcell letting him off the hook with that contested 3. Oh, O'Connell missed Kalkbrenner on the post. That was one of the few times he had good post position here in the overtime period.
Defended by Iguodaro and found on a beautiful pass by Andro Nikashvili, and that's the first points for Kalkbrenner in either overtime period.
That's a nice response by the Blue Jays. Most of the momentum seems to be in the favor of Marquette in these overtime periods, but that play right there, breaking down the defense.
Lewis elevating, no, and tipped into the hands of Nembhard.
But Hawkins wanted that look.
Nembhard on the drive, high off the window, and it rolls out. Another near miss for the Blue Jays. They got rejected at the rim 3 or 4 times in that first overtime period. Kolek a 3. Now a 2-on-2 the other way, and Nembhard pulls it back out. Hawkins through traffic is pure.
Well, Hawkins is such a difficult defend. He is always looking for his shot. He sets up his teammates beautifully that time, able to step up, knock down a big 3.
Prosper playing with 4 fouls. Final 90 seconds of the second overtime. Morcell. Lewis, the offensive board, puts it off the foot of Kalkbrenner, who dives on it. And a jump ball, possession arrow pointing to the Blue Jays.
Well, what a turn of events here in the second overtime. Creighton has snatched momentum back in this game. A couple defensive stops. A clutch 3 from Hawkins. And they are in really good position here.
So O'Connell will take it out. Both teams in the bonus. Creighton with 2 timeouts, hanging on to their first lead in these overtime periods. Kalkbrenner with 5. Nembhard a 3.
Textbook box out that time by Justin Lewis.
Now Kolek orchestrating the offense, finds Prosper. And Hawkins, an all-important defensive rebound.
Prosper had a decent look. But now Creighton going to take a little bit more time out of the clock. Looks like McDermott's going to get a timeout here.
So a 3-point lead for the Blue Jays. Back-to-back double-double nights for Ryan Hawkins. What a year he has had for Creighton. And now Andro Nikashvili running the point for Blue Jays. Andro Nikashvili spinning and kissing it off the window. 15 seconds for Marquette. They trail by 5. Kolek a 3. And the rebound, O'Connell. What a play by Andro Nikashvili.
Got his number called. Hadn't done much offensively in the second half or the overtime periods, but that's the confidence that Coach McDermott has in Rati, getting ready to the rim. Nice stop, playing off 2 feet, holds his pivot foot, steps through. That's a big-time play and a big-time moment for the Blue Jays.
His first points of the game. He had 6 assists. O'Connell buries it to make it a 6-point lead. And Greg McDermott told us Andro Nikashvili's been getting more playing time, not necessarily because of his offense, but because of his defensive effort. But he's coming off a season high in points against Villanova, and 2 more big points at the end of this overtime as Prosper brings it forward. Lewis with 1. And Creighton comes away with a win on New Year's Day at Marquette.
That's a heck